All right.
Welcome.
Yes. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. How's it going, Chris?
Well, it's going super stinking fantastic. Of course,
That's
I'm
good to
blessed
hear.
beyond what I could possibly deserve. I feel that. I enjoy that place actually because I know that my God is wonderful. He's gracious. He's kind. Even if I had no money in the bank, I would still be the richest guy I know. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty stinking good as well. I mean, I'd love to say super stinking fantastic, but that's kind of your thing. So, don't want to be a
Okay.
copycat or anything. I need to get my own phrase.
Super stinking fantastic verse 2.
Okay,
No,
that's fair.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Nah, you can definitely come up with your own.
We'll just have to see about that. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
everyone, welcome in. If you're just listening in, you made it to Duo Jive. We're two Wyoming. Wow, excuse me, new phrase here. But if you're just listening in, you've made it into Duo Jive, where two Wyoming dudes share just enough to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining in, listening in, wherever you are, whether that's exercising, doing work, chores, whatever. Thanks for taking the time to listen in with us. Make sure to give us a follow and a tag
Yeah.
and comment, all of the above, and take a look at our social medias down below. And yeah,
Yep.
thank you
Yep.
for
Yep.
joining.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it right there. Because a lot of people are working, right?
Yeah, that's what I do a good amount.
And if they take time to join us, that's quite flattering, and I'm really
Yes,
appreciated.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, brother. So how
But
was your
what
week?
it was, I dare say, super stinking fantastic. It was a good one. Tiff and I, we didn't leave town this weekend, but we stayed home and cleaned up and tidied up around the house. Like a home stay for the weekend, nothing crazy.
Sure,
And
sure.
went and took Lincoln to see Elio, the new Pixar movie that just came out, and we can speak on that either. Unless you want to go straight into movies right off the bat, we can, or we can
Well,
speak on
I
that
mean,
more
you
later
brought it
on.
up. Well, I mean, it was a
Just go straight
perfect
into it.
segment, right? So
Okay.
let's, yeah, absolutely, let's do
Well,
it.
in that case, we went and saw Elio, the new Pixar movie that just came out about the little boy that ends up he wants to get abducted and goes to space. And it was really fun. It was just a classic, Pixar movie, except I'm a big fan of space, so I was kind of just captivated by it all, and it was
Hmm.
fun, funny, it had a good story, good storyline, good plot, and
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
yeah. Well, that's good. And Lincoln went with you.
He did, yes. This will probably be the last time we ever go to the movies with him.
Well, no, the last time for a little bit, right?
Yes.
Because there's going to be movies coming out in the future when he's a little older and able to understand what's going on. Yeah, maybe 5, 6. That's when you guys started picking it up.
Yep.
It's
I'm
funny
thinking so.
because it's funny because Lizzie picked it up a little bit earlier only because she wanted to be there and she wanted to take advantage. I wish she was on this right now because that would be a fun conversation. You know what I'm saying? But
How old do you think
yeah,
she was?
probably 3 or 4, and
3 or 4.
it was
Wow.
because you and Noah, I mean, you and Levi were just, you guys were stoked about a couple of movies that came out. I remember that. What were they? What?
I can't even recall the. We've been
Well,
seeing movies forever.
well, right, exactly, but I think it was a movie like Inside Out or something like that.
Like
Of
a
course,
Pixar cartoon type of deal.
yes, yes, yeah, animated,
Maybe
no
Toy
doubt.
Story or something.
Maybe, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, something along those lines. But you and Levi were stoked, and Lizzie, she was kind of stoked only because she saw you guys getting stoked, right? And
She
so
wanted
she
to be a
came
part.
and enjoyed it. And you guys always brought your friends, and movie times were even that much more fun.
Oh yeah, you know it. I mean, when you go with friends, it's a blast. You can talk about it afterwards. Go get a good. Anyone out there, I mean, ain't nothing better. You can agree with me on this. Is there's nothing better than going and seeing a movie with a group of friends and then afterwards hitting up the local ice cream shop and just talking, hanging out, enjoying a good movie. After enjoying a good movie. That's a universal thing right there.
Yes, it is absolutely. Well, ice cream or popcorn or something like that, because some people might not like ice cream, although I'm sure that's rare.
I'm saying
Got it.
after the movies.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
After the movie, yeah, an ice cream shop. Although you and I are ice cream freaks,
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah. Thinking
Yeah.
about ice cream this whole time, actually, behind the
You know what I
scenes.
did?
You
Thinking
what?
about, well, I knew the podcast was tonight, right? And so that I was coming home from work and I was like, man, I'm stopping. I'm sorry, I got to, because I was thinking about ice cream. Because I knew you, the past two episodes, had been talking about your ice creams, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was stopping to get ice cream. And of course, it was just something real simple.
Well, what did you get?
Well, I got a soft serve chocolate cone. That's what I get. I mean, and I got a
Okay.
small, and
At that little
that way,
ice cream shop nearby?
yes, yes, I hit that one.
Nice.
Yeah, and then it's funny because I haven't been going there at all. But in anticipation of tonight's episode, of course, I made it a point to
You
indulge.
had to indulge, yeah. Of
It's
course.
just for our listeners, of course, and our
Yep.
viewers
Yep.
that I did.
What are your guys' favorite ice creams? I actually did a post this past Saturday of a cheat day ice cream splurge that I did. That I went and got a new flavor ice cream, unhealthy kind, not no Halo Top, an unhealthy flavor pint of ice cream at the grocery store, and went and talked about it and posted it. It was a lot of fun, and it was a delicious ice cream. If you want to know what ice cream flavor I got, go check out the vid, go see what it's all about. Let me
Really,
know what you guys thought about the flavor whenever you watch
you're
it.
doing that. You don't get to know about it unless you go check out the video.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, how else are they gonna go check it out?
Well,
You
I
know
do
what
know.
flavor it was.
I
Did you
do
see the video?
absolutely. Yeah, I saw it. It
That's
was
right, you
good.
commented. Yep.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it made me want some. But uh, I mean, you do a good job of getting those videos out to cross-platform. In other words, I think you had one on TikTok, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
TikTok,
Facebook, and
Facebook, Instagram,
yeah, yeah,
all of
freaking
them. Yep.
awesome. Yep. And it's funny because I jump back and forth across all those platforms throughout the day, and I jumped to another platform, and there comes your video. You know.
Once again, yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting
Yeah.
double dose right there. No escaping it.
Well, that's good though.
I
That's
promise
good.
it'll get better.
Well, your posts, unlike mine, are really good, and
Well, thank you.
I'm
I
sure
appreciate that.
anybody's going to enjoy them because
I
I know
should
I
have done
do.
a post. What's that?
I know I do. So anybody else should.
Well, I appreciate that. It's definitely a lot. It's a learning experience to say the least. I mean, all of this is, but especially a guy, living in Wyoming, not necessarily from Wyoming, but living in Wyoming, which is very distant from the rest of the world and can make it a little bit challenging when it comes to understanding all of this technology aspect by myself because I'm very limited on help or people that are familiar to the platform in this vicinity. It's kind of it's all online based type of deal. Learning online, talking to people online, nothing in person, nothing like real being in Wyoming. But with that being said, it's still awesome to play around with and use that to my advantage and post stuff that, not many people are posting about.
There are several famous people that really enjoy Wyoming, live in and enjoy
Oh yeah,
immensely
well, yeah.
enjoy. I mean, we were here before Jeffree Star came,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, over in Casper.
and some people may not know who he is, but I think the world just
I
about almost.
think yeah, I'm pretty sure they were probably shocked whenever you said his name right there.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is I didn't know who he was until he moved to Wyoming,
And
and then
that's
there were
not
what?
to segue. Go ahead.
Well, there were a couple people in my family that enjoy some of his content, and that's how I got introduced to him.
Yes. To segue from that actually gets me thinking, what do we need to join that's different that can get people curious on who we are?
Wait, what can we
You
join?
didn't know who Jeffree Star was until he moved to Wyoming, until you heard
Absolutely.
people speak about him, and then you discovered his fame that he had prior. You're just another person that discovered him later on down the road. Where can we? I'm think my mind goes, where can we join or go somewhere that's different out of our comfort zone that people be like, who are these guys? And then all of a sudden look back at us, be like,
Well,
where are they
in
coming
time.
from?
In time. It's funny because I don't think that. Well, let's just back up a little bit. I don't think not knowing Jeffree Star, right? I didn't know who he was, but then he moved to Wyoming. I found out who he was, checked out some of his content. It's not something that I do. I don't watch for his videos. I don't enjoy them as much. His content's kind of fun, kind of good, kind of fun,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's not really my bag.
Mm-mm.
But that being said, um, if he would have gone to Missouri, right, from where he was, I would have probably heard about him then, even still. So it may or may not, well, Wyoming was the attractant there.
It
It
was.
was the thing.
It
Yeah, it
was.
was the thing that caused me to find.
Did you hear who was
And
moving to Wyoming? Did you hear who was moving to Casper
yeah,
in
right.
particular? Hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. I haven't been to a shop, but I know that a couple of my family members have.
We stopped by. It's definitely interesting to say the least. A bunch of yak meat and makeup. Yeah,
Makeup.
lip gloss, makeup. I stayed in the meat section and had yak for the first time. It's very
Yeah.
I had some yak jerky, which is reminiscent of deer jerky. To me, it tasted the same. I didn't notice any difference.
Well, that's because it was jerky, right? It's dried,
Hmm.
cured, and dried,
Seasoned.
and it's got some seasoning on it. Yeah, that makes it is what that can make them all the same in a lot of regards. But then now that they've got so many flavors, and really something I need to try. Really, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, whenever you come back, maybe we stop by there next time after getting, and then on the way after, get some Cold Stone. Maybe do a double
Blog Talk.
dose duo jive
Yeah,
Cold Stone
I
review.
will take you up on that, and maybe we should look into doing something live
I completely
over
agree.
there. Yeah, I like
Let
it.
us know down below. Let us know down below what you guys think. If you did see a live video, would you prefer it on just a regular video or something kind of focused around ice cream? Maybe a ice cream taste test? That'd be unique. That'd be fun. We could do it over
Or
in, we'd have to do it in Casper.
yak meat.
Yeah. Ice cream and yak. That's wild. People will look at that
Well,
and go, what?
and we're also going to have to bring ice cream and French fries to the platform.
Oh, so dipping them? Dipping the French fries into the ice cream?
Oh yeah. Well, but it's got to be the right French fry too.
Now it's the
That's
right.
hard.
Now you're talking a good cheat day right there.
Yep, absolutely. It's got to be the fat French fries.
Speaking of cheat day, so yes, we did. I did that pint of ice cream this past Saturday, but I also did a. I made a, and this wasn't. I don't know why I did it on cheat day. Maybe because of what it was. I actually made homemade protein donuts, icing and all. I'm talking like with the sprinkles, with the icing, baked. It was absolutely delicious, and they sat at each donut is about yay big, like they're for anyone listening, they're like in between. They're like the size of a baseball, so they're smaller than your average donut but they're not as small as minis. And I used protein powder, non-fat Greek yogurt, flour, a bunch of other additional ingredients, put them in a donut baking tin, cooked them, made some homemade icing with some fat-free milk, some more
My
protein
gosh.
powder, Jello, zero sugar Jello pudding, and then sprinkleified them. And they turned
Mm.
out fantastic. And each donut was like 120 calories and 30 grams of protein. So you're getting a hefty amount of protein. And so it was weird because I felt like I was cheating eating a donut, especially on cheat day, but they were fantastic. So I
How many
should have
calories
recorded.
each?
Gonna remember for next
How
time.
how many calories each?
I think 120 calories each. 120 to 150, somewhere in that range, depending on the icing. I need to go back and count that.
Wow. Now, what inspired that?
Social media. Going on scrolling and seeing donuts and going, yeah, that's gonna happen now.
And somebody else sharing on their platform how you could do a protein donut?
A homemade protein donut. They compared it. So they had Dunkin' Donuts there. It said you can eat one of these donuts for 3 times the amount of calories in comparison to eating 3 of these donuts, and they're all high in protein. You get no protein with this one donut, but high in calories, which is a Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme, whatever. And then you got 3 of these donuts over here, same amount of calories, but way higher in protein. So it's like a win-win. You're getting more donuts, more protein, same amount of calories. And I was like, that is a perfect way to start the day. A healthy donut with some eggs and bacon can never go wrong.
The combination is not one you would hear normal.
That's true. I had to get my extra protein in there. That was a hefty protein morning, I will say. Between egg whites, center cut bacon, and protein donuts, I was probably for breakfast alone, I was probably sitting at close to 100 grams of protein, 80 to 100 grams of protein.
That's crazy, dude.
Hmm.
But I think if I don't want to assume too much, but I think you're in a phase, or maybe you're just there permanently, where you like sweet stuff with a good written regular breakfast,
Sweets
eggs.
are my sweet tooth has taken over. I have been absolutely consumed by sweets, and I try my hardest to find sweet alternatives, like the donuts. The donuts were a great starter, and I got zero sugar. Look at this. Right here, sitting here. I was given this actually. I didn't know this was a thing. They have zero sugar Reese's. Anyone listening, I have a packet of Reese's zero sugar Reese's
Man,
like little cups, and there you can eat three of them, the equivalent of three of these for one, and there's no sugar.
all right.
So whenever you
Well,
find stuff like that,
I don't do stuff like that because I know that if there's no sugar in it, there's
uh-huh.
something in it that's artificial, and you know me,
Yep,
you know me,
I get it.
yeah.
What do you think
But
would be in it that you didn't like? Maybe that right there,
I don't know
where
what
it
is
says
it, man.
aspartame free.
I don't know what aspartame is.
Aspartame is typically used as a sugar alternative.
Okay, and it doesn't have aspartame in it. So then, okay, that makes the challenge even that much greater. How do they make it sweet without, Hmm.
That's actually a good question. I do not.
Huh.
But with that being said, yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
they may be putting something in there that may not be the best, but let's be honest, it's not making me fat. It's a win-win.
Not gonna, and I am not gonna respond.
I mean, I don't blame you because it's accurate. I mean, you can't justify saying that yours is healthier, a healthier alternative because the fact that it's not chemically made whenever you're eating, so even though sugar might be natural, the way they make sugar nowadays practically makes it not natural. And it also gives you, if you eat it in large doses, stuff like high cholesterol, diabetes, and so on. You're still losing, even if you say, oh, that's healthier because it's not bioengineered.
Okay.
Fair?
Okay. Well, I would definitely, and maybe it's one of the things that hold me back because I would be trying it's very hard to find natural things that are
I completely agree. That's why you want to look for stuff that has monk fruit and similar kind of stuff to that. It's a sweetener replacement, but it comes from something natural. But it's definitely a good starter point. I mean, like you just find stuff like that, and then it's a great way to you're still indulging from donuts to Reese's peanut butter cups, all of these stuff. But since you're not consuming the same amount of calories you were before, and you're replacing that with protein, all of a sudden, even though you may be eating what feels like you're eating the same, your diet, you start noticing differences right away because of that.
right on, right on. It, I'm impressed. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm thoroughly stoked and impressed because what you've been able to achieve has inspired me tremendously.
Well, thank you.
Tremendous. Yeah, it's amazing. You can no longer consider any of those things impossible,
I know it's crazy, sometimes just realizing
or
where
too
everything is.
difficult, or too difficult. So you got a brand new family, right? You and Tiff aren't brand new, but you're the addition to your family is new, and then you got this job that works you a lot of hours and a lot going on, and yet you do it, and that's just amazing, right? I made excuses for why I wouldn't stop to count calories. That's all there is to it, you know. And it was all
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, well, I get that.
Freaking amazing. I sent you, matter of fact, one of Mr. Beast's videos
You're gonna have to
recently.
refresh me.
Okay, well, we might want to save it for next episode because it was pretty fascinating. But I
Okay.
sent you the video of a guy that Mr. Beast challenged to lose 100.
Oh yes, the most recent video that he posted with the what's it, Madge? Madge, I think his
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is. Yeah, I
yeah.
watched it.
You did.
Oh
Okay,
yes,
and I enjoyed that video.
it was fantastic.
I didn't enjoy the part where they discovered that the trainer had passed
And you
away.
know what's funny about that? My perspective on it. So seeing it in real time, watching it in real time, and witnessing it, my mind went to Discovery, the Discovery, spoilers by the way for the newest Mr. Beast video, prior to the discovery of the trainer passing. Is it Trainer Jeff or something like that? I don't remember exactly, but prior to him passing, whenever he started helping Madge lose weight, my mind was thinking, Madge has got it all. He's a larger man, overweight man that is now dedicated and has been given the opportunity to lose 100 pounds, which is insane. Started a completely new journey of his life and be given a buttload of money. And
Yeah,
then all
yeah.
of a sudden, this guy comes into the picture, and now he's involved in seeing this guy's journey, and yet he should feel accomplished in himself because he's over there teaching other people how to live a healthier life, being a coach or trainer and all that. But how does that affect you mentally, witnessing that and being like, oh yeah, I'm too healthy, so I don't get to reach that point. I don't get to be involved into something like that. I mean, I'm involved, but not in the good way. They're probably paying me normal to train this guy. I mean, you get the clout with it. That's one thing that he does get is the clout and the
Mission.
social
Yeah.
media presence. But my mind was like, I feel like that would take a toll on you. And then all of a sudden, come to find out that he passed. I'm thinking, whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe it did. Something led him to that point at that moment, which is very sad and very unfortunate. But at the same time, it led him to that moment where he just couldn't bear it. There may be a little bit of accident. It may have been a mix of some stuff. Overall, just crazy to see. Even somebody that is partnering with Mr. Beast, present on social media, seems to be very healthy and fit, is probably getting paid comfortably. Not life changing like Madge winning $400,000 instantly, but
Could have
getting
been.
paid. Yeah, I mean, he probably could have been. But between the social media presence and getting paid a reasonable amount by Mr. Beast for the video, he was doing good. And so, what leads you to mentally think that this is okay, or this isn't worth it, or this isn't good enough, or nothing's worth it at that point? Like what puts you into that pit? It's very
Well,
interesting.
he could have had some health issues.
Possibility. I don't know exactly the
Some exist.
circumstances. From what I heard, he took alcohol and sleeping pills together,
Really
and that's what led to him not waking up.
fascinating.
And that's why my mind went to maybe it was intentional somewhat, maybe not fully, but somewhat. Like, I'll see what happens, I'll face the repercussions later type of deal, and then just never woke up.
Wow. It's funny because I didn't hear anything about why or how. I just heard that he had passed, and
Hmm.
I just assumed, and I didn't assume because my life didn't depend on it to know for a fact, or my job didn't depend on it to know for a fact of why, and maybe something good to Google. But
Me
yeah, I
too.
didn't.
Yeah, I could do some more research in it too, but from what I heard, that's
Yeah,
the extent of it.
yeah, and that is horribly sad. In spite of all the good that came from that show, right? Because that
Yes.
show was pretty fascinating,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure,
I mean, it was quite the journey to witness.
yeah, and a lot of people, I'm sure, were inspired. But I thought you would find it, and thought you would find it thought provoking at the least. We didn't talk about it when we were talking about what movie you went to see.
Yep.
Yep, but I went to see F1.
You saw the new F1.
Hmm.
Skipped right over that. What'd you think?
I thought it was really good.
So, Chris's rating for F1, what do you rate it?
I give it a good 8.5.
8.5 out of
Absolutely.
10?
Yep. Yep.
That's a pretty hefty good movie.
It is. Well, okay, so I've always been a Brad Pitt fan, right? Brad is a good actor. He's a solid actor, and when he pours himself into a role, he does good. He always has. Did you ever see the movie Troy?
Yes. That was good.
Man, right? And
Yep.
and I knew that F1 was probably going to be a good movie for that reason. Not as good as Troy. Troy was a 10. Troy was an easy 10. Uh but I knew it would be good, and I enjoyed it immensely.
Okay, so you recommend it.
I do. I
Okay.
recommend it.
Well, it's definitely on my list. I don't think it came out like Like as you know, we're very limited here with our. We have a movie theater, so hashtag
Yes,
blessed. We can't
yes,
complain, but it's
yes.
limiting to what they can come out with, and so I guess they chose Elio over F1. I don't believe F1 came out in our theater, so hopefully next week they'll come out and I'll have to go hit it up.
Well, it was a date night or family night, and so I don't think you would have chosen F1 anyway.
No, yeah, we would
It
have
was
definitely stuck with, especially taking Lincoln.
okay. So here's the question: have you or are you planning to see Megan?
Probably. I think so. I saw the first one. It was fun. It was definitely Blumhouse. It's like you can't say it's like a
Yep.
crazy movie. If you go in for a Blumhouse movie, you expect a Blumhouse movie, and that's exactly what you get with Megan and all of those movie kind of that movie realm. And I think I will probably is it come out soon
Yeah.
or
It came out a couple weeks ago.
Megan 2.0 did? I
Yep.
didn't know it was already out.
Yeah, I think at least a week ago. Yeah, at least a week ago, and then maybe 2 weeks. Yep. I didn't like it.
Oh, you saw it.
Well, so here's what I did. So your mom and I went to see a movie while I was in Denver.
How to
Okay,
Train
and
Your
we talked.
Dragon.
That's correct, and we talked about that last week. And I never did take my Fandango heading and change it from Denver to Morris, Illinois, right in a suburb of Chicago. And when I was getting ready to leave work early one day because we got rained out, I was thinking, all right, I'll go see a movie, right? So I'm going to waste the day and go see a movie, and and uh, and I saw what time F1 started, went to the theater, which isn't that far away, but I went to the theater and it didn't start for another hour and a half, almost 2 hours, because I was looking at the wrong theater.
Did
But
you
you know
buy
what
your
did start?
tickets?
No, I didn't. I didn't
Okay.
because, but it's just as easy to buy them at the theater there because I knew it wouldn't be that busy. However, I was playing right at that very moment was
Elio?
Megan.
Oh, Megan.
So I'm standing there, and the guy goes, "You want to watch a different movie?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And he goes, "Well, Megan's starting right now," and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know that I want to watch it." He goes, "I'd recommend it. You need to watch that movie." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you need to watch it." And I'm like, "Okay, give me a ticket, right?"
Right?
And then I went and saw the movie, and I didn't really. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't horrible, but it was close. It wasn't
Did you
great. It
see the
wasn't
first
good.
movie?
No, I didn't.
Problem
But
number one. That probably really
nope.
confused things.
No, because I knew what the premise of it was, first and foremost. And it was a silly horror flick. So
Yes.
I knew it wouldn't be deep. It wouldn't have any deep meanings that I needed to know about, any plots that I needed to know about. And I could see it as though it was the first, right? And then they talked about Megan One like nonstop. They told the whole movie like in
Okay.
the first
So they
20
had a good
minutes.
recap. They had a good
Yeah. Oh,
summary.
yeah, actually, they talked about it until probably for almost for the whole movie. Yep. And so,
Okay. Interesting. They
yep,
really wanted to get their point across, thinking that some people may not have seen the first one.
maybe so, maybe so. And I was glad. I was glad. I walked out of there very glad that I didn't see one,
Wow.
that I didn't see the first one, right? And I was wishing that I hadn't wasted the time or the money to go see that one. But I mean, it wasn't a terrible. It wasn't a terrible night. It wasn't as though I wanted to walk out of there thinking this is the worst movie I've ever seen, right? But that's just me. I like those movies with really deep storylines and that
Get you
tear
thinking.
jerkers,
Yeah.
funny movies, all that stuff. Megan was trite, very
Well,
trite.
I mean, as expected almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like you
yeah,
said, you expect it going in. So,
yep.
yeah, it's weird. Like I go in thinking the same thing. So I figured this one wasn't going to be, it would be even less due to it being a
Sequel.
sequel to the first one. And the first one was okay. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep,
And
exactly.
so
Yep.
I'll probably end up seeing it. Maybe not because I didn't realize it already came out. We'll have to see if it ever comes out on something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You might end up buying it. I don't know. I'm so very surprised that it's not already playing at that theater.
Yeah. Yep. And they may have. I just never realized it. Might have been a week that we left town. But you heard it here, folks. Excuse me. Wow. You heard it here first. Wow. Good gosh. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna move on. You heard it here first, folks. There's Chris's double dose of movies for the week. One good, one bad review.
Yeah, getting rained out is always a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't ever get rained out on jobs, right? But since it's this one is 100% welding, the welders they can't work in the rain.
Yeah,
So,
they shut it down.
and that day we had like 40-mile-an-hour winds, and you can't
Oh,
weld
wow.
in high winds either. So
So Windy Inn is double
it shut
down
us
on
down.
it.
It shut us down good.
Did you see did you see anything on that kid falling off of the Disney cruise?
Yeah, and Dad jumped in after it.
Yes, the dad jumped in after him.
The daughter, yes, it was a
It was a
7-year-old daughter.
daughter.
Was it?
Okay.
Yeah,
I actually don't know. I just heard it
yeah,
was a kid and the dad jumped in.
right. It was. I think it was a 5 or 7-year-old daughter. Like an absolute idiot, from what I've heard, put her up on the rail to for a picture.
So
I
he
don't.
deserved
I,
jumping in,
I don't know how true that could possibly be, but he
right?
might have been. He might have been standing next to her, right? And he brought her up to the up to head height, and thought, well, here, I'll just set you on the rail, and anything can happen. So I don't want to be too mean on him, but man, that was crazy from the third floor, third
I
third level.
think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, yeah. So he
Off of their
jumped in,
balcony.
and when I saw that the headline said father jumps in to save daughter from a Disney cruise, it's like I'm glued. You know, I want to see
Got your
what happens.
attention right away.
Dad jumped in, and I mean, fortunately for her, that I'm pretty sure she may be a good swimmer since she
Yeah, well,
survived.
I mean, they both came out, which is good.
Yeah,
She definitely had
yeah.
to. There was a moment where she was having to, before dad jumped in, she was on her own and she seemed to have powered through enough to get her to where, keep herself afloat enough until dad jumped in and then rescue arrived, which was good. But still crazy. I mean, absolutely
And if you see
crazy.
how far away from the boat they were
Oh, I
by the
mean,
time I got
it's
to 'em.
instant. Hey, you jump
Yeah,
off
they
a
were.
boat and in some waves.
Dude, yeah, and that's the thing. The waves were kind of doing their thing, right? So they disappear for a minute or two, and yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Did
And
you
then finally,
see, huh?
well, thinking to yourself, okay, what am I going to do to take care of my daughter because she's got to live?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's why you jump in and it had me thinking like, what would I do in that scenario? I'd probably jump in too. Like
Well,
if it
yeah.
were Lincoln
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was
Yeah,
down there, I would
yeah,
100% be
yeah.
hopping in right after him.
That's the man you are.
Mm. You'd think that, yeah, just the fatherhood mindset. Anyone that's reached, yes,
So
sir.
that was a fascinating story, though, nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah, it was very interesting. And then I also saw that they just passed this thing. I was hoping you could enlighten me because I did a little bit of research on this. You may know more on this topic, but Donald Trump passed this new thing called a big, beautiful bill. Are you familiar?
Yes, I
It's
am.
been getting a lot of
Press.
controversy. I didn't know what it was, and then they said it passed, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what it was, and it passed. Like, I didn't know what it was prior to it passing. I didn't even know it was a thing until it passed. And I'm still kind of unfamiliar with the exact specs, but I was curious on if you have like a quick summary or a recap of what you.
Well, and it's one of the things that Elon got the most upset about.
Yes, that was a part of their disagreements.
Exactly. So, I mean, imagine the Democrats being the predominant factor in our political system for a little while. When, of course, when Obama was in office, Biden was in office, they've got this thing, and I'm not picking on the Democrats at all, but they've got this well known, everybody knows about it, this thing about just passing bills when it comes to budgets, right? Passing a bill, even though it's 10 trillion more than we can possibly afford to budget for or spend. Have you ever considered? Well, you're in business. You're a person that works for a company that has responsibilities, right? Is your company publicly traded?
I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong on that, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so either way, whether it's publicly traded or private, somebody is running that company. Am I right about that?
Yes.
And that somebody is the CEO or president of the company, and that person either A, answers to a board of directors for a publicly traded company, or a board of directors or an owner for a privately held company. I know you're not working for the owner. So, that being said, think of our country the same way, right?
Okay.
Our country is the same. We are a business. And that's one of the reasons why Donald Trump has been such a blessing to America, because he's a businessman and a very, very, very good one. But that being said, our country and Congress, especially the Senate as well, neither one of them have cared whether or not we were passing bills that there's no way in God's green earth we could pay back. We're talking trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt and money that's supposedly
So we're
promised
too
in the
far
future.
gone, is what you're saying.
Well, so Donald Trump believes that we're not too far gone. And one of the ways he plans to fix that is with tariffs. And I'm a big, big fan of the tariffs. But getting back to the bill, Elon wanted to see this massive, massive cut to the spending bill that would cause a lot of people in both areas of government would have a problem with, right? Because they're governmental people and stupid. Well, but Donald Trump knew that he wouldn't get it passed. As you'll if you'll notice, he did get the big beautiful bill passed.
He did.
And
So you're
there were
for it,
some
is what I'm getting
oh
from this.
oh yeah. Now it's not enough. It's not enough of a cut, right? But it's like it's I don't know. I didn't see how far from the last spending bill that was passed, right, during Biden. But the one that was passed during Biden, I remember being this number that was hard to imagine ever being able to repay.
Did you
Right?
look into the details of this bill at all? Like, have you seen any insight on it? Like, could you give me a pro to it and a con?
Well, let me give you an example of why I'm a big fan of it, and that might be the pro. In that bill were the cuts to tips on overtime wage.
Yes,
In
that's
that
definitely a
in
pro.
That's right. In that bill were the cuts to taxes on waiters and waitresses, and and I believe that's on tips, and I believe that is long, long, long overdue.
Yeah, I
And
completely agree.
so are a million other cuts
It's going to help
because
our middle class, which we are. So we're in that demographic to where it'll benefit us. That I completely agree on it being a pro. It is definitely a pro for sure. One of the biggest parts of that actually, and which is huge for, I mean, like, think about what a majority of America is. We are the working class here. So by providing us with something with this, it's going to change the infrastructure, the actual core, the infrastructure of how things run in America,
that's right.
especially if we become self-sustainable.
That is correct.
So I completely agree with you on that. I did see that, and I saw, the overtime benefits on labor works, on the oil industry. Now, did you see any cons?
No, but there are a couple. There
Do
are a
you
couple. I heard that there was some spending approved for some of the stupid things that Democrats would normally approve, like homosexual agendas and all that, or the DEI stuff, and some of those things were included, and that's some of the stuff that Elon got really cheesed off.
That's
But
interesting. I
I
didn't
don't know.
know that. That's something that I'm unfamiliar with. One of the biggest ones being it adds to our debt, which I completely agree with you there. Everyone that was talking about the pros and the cons in the videos that I've seen, I haven't done enough research on this to give a thorough opinion, but from what I can say from what I've seen so far is there's definitely some pros, there's definitely some cons. Pros seem to outweigh the cons because a con is, for example, like you said, we're adding to our overall debt as America, like just as a whole in America. But these people think as if we're going to start paying off trillions and trillions of dollars right now. They're not going to do it. So who's going to do it? Why look at it like we have to start paying it off? Instead, let's focus on building up our infrastructure and then paying it off. And that's going to take some money. It's going to help our community that here is in America on the ground, the actual working community, and grow from there hopefully down the road, which sucks because then that just means we're passing off our debt, just like the past generation and the generation before that, passing off our debt to the next generation. And that was one of the big ones. Definitely affects other aspects of it. I need to do more research on it. I mean, if you guys have any thoughts on it or anything or opinions, throw a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on this new bill that's come about, the big beautiful bill. It's crazy that he would
Sorry.
call it that.
Well, it's Trump, what do you
Yeah,
expect, huh?
makes perfect sense. I heard he's getting away with EV credits.
That is correct. He cut away the credits on the EVs, but he talked about that, and Elon didn't care about that.
No, I mean it
Matter
doesn't
of fact,
benefit me. I own an EV and it doesn't benefit me.
no. Well, yeah, not in Wyoming. It doesn't.
No, 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 federally. The federal EV tax credit is a complete sham.
Oh, well,
It was the way it was to make it was the government's way of making them look good as if they're eco-friendly. EVs aren't, first of all, aren't eco-friendly, and second of all, it was their way of making it look like they're heroes because they're going to incentivize going EV, when in reality, majority of EV purchasers are not going to be involved in that. Used car purchasers are not going to be involved in that aspect. It's only new purchases. So a big chunk of it, a big chunk of people, me included, didn't even get to see that credit at all. So
yeah.
very much a
Well,
downside.
I could see that. I could see that. That makes perfect sense. Well, the big beautiful bill was most certainly a good thing to pass.
You think
I'm a
overall
big
it's a
fan.
good thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know that Trump wanted to start cutting taxes. He started wanting to cut spending. He started wanting to make a whole bunch of things go away that were currently in play. Some spending that would advance some agendas that were not American, you know? And that's why I'm a big fan of it. I know that he's going after it. And I know that he's doing what he can when he can. And I believe, and this is what I believe, and someone could prove me wrong, but I believe Trump knows that he's got to take it all in stride. Do a little bit now, a little bit later, a lot more later after that, and a whole bunch more after, the next year.
100%.
He's
Yep.
got he's got to take.
I agree
But
with you there.
and I also know that there's going to be a lot of myth involved in the bill. In other words, you've heard how some of these, most all of these news agencies report on what we would want to be fact, right? Anything going on, we would want the facts on it. But most of these news agencies have gotten into this habit of reporting just absolute stupidity. You know, so
Oh,
there's a
I couldn't
lot.
agree with you. I would take it a step further than you and actually say that news medias are a it's fake. There's no such thing as real news on news media articles. It's all just clicks and views. We need to have a flashy title, whether it's true or not. Even if it has the slightest bit of truth to it, they can justify throwing it out there so that way they can utilize it as a way to draw eyes and draw attention. You get better real news pertaining to everything, whether it's political, religious, warfare, anything like that. You get better news on TikTok and platforms like it than you do actual news. I mean, it's such an unfortunate thing because our older generation, our generation of grandparents and all of that, they grew up with the news, so it's familiar to them, and they that's their way. They start the day, they end the day. When in reality, they're just being fed stuff that is probably truthful to some aspect, but there is definitely twisting and manipulation involved as well. Always in any article you read, it's not
Right,
100% truth. And
right.
whenever you see the actual footage on a TikTok video or something like that, and it's typically raw footage, you're gonna get a lot clearer picture on it, and then you can kind of deep dive into it
Yep, yep, yep.
instead of
Absolutely.
being force fed this one opinion, one opinion, one opinion, one opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even watch. I will not watch any of the major news agencies: CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, all those them. All those news agencies. I don't waste my time on them because they're lies.
Yeah, include Fox there.
I don't waste my time on Fox either. But I
Okay.
mean, it's better if that
Yeah.
makes any that means anything.
It's familiar to you. It makes it's more in your line of thinking. They're like-minded with you.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all goes. And it's funny because we may talk about it again next week, and I think I want to know a little bit more so that we can provide educated discourse regarding.
Okay, I agree. I think we need to do some research on it, and then let me know. Yeah, I'm. That's why I brought it up initially because I was thinking I was like, man, this thing just popped up, and I didn't even know what it was prior to it passing. I wasn't paying attention enough. I wasn't involved, and because of that, now I'm kind of caught off guard to where I was hoping for some insight. But we'll do a recap next week on the big beautiful bill and our thoughts.
All right, I like it. Big, beautiful, beautiful.
Big beautiful bill, BBB,
How, how can you
the
call a
triple
bit
B.
little beautiful?
The double B bill. The double B, yeah.
What do you think about talking about?
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to repeat yourself. What was that?
Said, what do you think about talking about the MCU?
The MCU, now you're speaking my language. Are you speaking trivia in particular?
Well, I believe that's in order, and I owe you some actually.
Oh, wow. So we're bringing back the MCU trivia segment.
Yes, if you don't mind, I would like to talk about the MCU and present some trivia questions.
I'm glad you have them because I came ill prepared, so this will be entirely on you.
Well, then it's your turn then. It's my
Okay.
turn to give them. Yep, I like it. I like it because last week, of course, I did participate very poorly, I might add. Oh my gosh, that was bad. Last week was.
We gotta
Let's not even.
improve.
Let's not
You
even
need
talk.
to start doing some Marvel research. Start watching some videos and YouTube videos and rewatch the movies and all that.
Right on. So I've got 10 questions. You ready?
Okay. I think so. We'll see.
Now, a
This
couple of
is
these are going to be super easy.
we will see.
Super.
Let's
Super.
throw them
Well,
at me.
all right. Number one is going to tell you, oh yeah, absolutely. You're going to think, oh my God, right? How many Infinity Stones are there actually?
That is a good question. 6?
Whatever, of course. And I knew you knew it. It's funny how you're like, hmm. What? That's all right. Okay. What does SHIELD stand for?
Ooh, you got me there.
Dum 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 dum
It's
dum.
something I've heard it before, and it's something that I'm not familiar with, and I remember hearing the name and going, I'm not gonna remember that, and clearly I don't remember it.
And the funny part about it is 2 weeks ago you asked me this
I
question.
know, and I think I remember thinking, I don't think I would have gotten this one, and here we are,
Really?
2 weeks
Okay.
later.
Well, it is your turn to answer the question. SHIELD stands for Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistics Division.
Division, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
is that a long? Yeah,
If you
that's
had
that
given me
acronym.
one more minute, I would have got that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Uh-huh.
fine. All right. What is the name of the prison for superpowered individuals in the Marvel universe?
The raft.
Oh my gosh. I did not know anything about that. Nothing about that.
Really?
Congratulations. Yes, number. So you got
Two for
2 out of 3.
three.
2 out of 3. All right, you
I
ready?
already failed.
All
Okay.
right. What is Thanos's home planet?
Dang. Man, I should know this one. It is something that I know, but I can't say because I apparently don't know.
Okay. I
And
will
I'm kind of
I will give you a hint. Starts
Titan.
with Oh, yes. Very good. You actually
Thank you.
said it
And I
before
got
I
that
gave
before you
you
said
the hint.
that.
Yeah, I know. That's good. Very good. Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm sorry. I only came with 8 because I just realized that was only 4 questions, and my next set only has 4 questions. Okay, so we're
That's
doing
fine.
8. All
Okay.
right. So
So
you got
three out of
3.
3.
That's really good, by the way.
Well, we'll
Very
see.
good. All right. What movie introduced Spider-Man to the MCU?
Well, that you are a generous man because I believe I asked this to you our very last segment. I want to say it might have been 2 episodes ago. I think I asked you this, and I know this one. That would be Captain America Civil War.
Oh my gosh. See, okay, and I didn't remember the question. I don't remember getting the question. And you no doubt did ask me, but if I go to sleep, I'm going to not remember anything from today. So,
Mm. You're gonna have
yeah,
to
that
go
was in
back and watch
order.
that movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah, yep,
One
yep,
of my
yep.
favorite.
All right, there's number five. Number five, you got 4 out of 5. That's really good. Congratulations. All right, you ready? One, number six.
Let's go. Keep it rolling.
All right, number six coming up. What is the name of the protocol Tony Stark enacts in Iron Man 3?
You said the name of the protocol?
What is the name of the protocol Tony Stark enacts in Iron Man 3?
This is deep. I'm gonna be mind blown if I get this.
Dun,
There's a
dun, dun.
name that man, can you give me a letter it starts with? Is it J?
No, no,
Dang.
you're thinking Jarvis, and it's not Jarvis.
No, 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 no. I don't think it's Jarvis. It was to cause all of his suits to
Yep,
self-destruct and to
yep,
run off and
yep,
to destroy themselves.
yep, yep. Or to get involved in fight too.
Can you?
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Basically
Think,
destroy themselves, but they
think,
all just
think of.
activate at the same time.
Yep.
Stretch. I know he had to have come up with some, Iron Man, something witty. I'm stumped. I'm stumped. You got me, man.
It's not witty at all, by the way.
It's right there.
All right. The
Jericho. I don't
name.
know why I got Jericho stuck in my head.
Well, that's a good thought, but no. The name of the protocol Tony Stark enacts in Iron Man 3 is called Extremis.
Extremis. Okay, I would not have gotten that one.
No, I wouldn't have
That
either. I had
one.
no
Yeah.
idea. All right.
I was expecting something a little wittier.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
coming from Iron
okay.
Man.
Yeah, you would. But if you'll remember, though, in that episode, he was kind of, or that movie, he was kind of chilling or backing off of witty, if you
Oh yeah,
will.
kind of more serious vibe.
Yeah, he
Being
was.
where they were. The third episode or
All
third
right. So
movie.
that was number six. Number seven. Who was responsible for King T'Chaka's death? King
Killmonger.
T'Chaka. I'm sorry. No, that's
Killmonger.
no, it was not.
King T'Chaka.
Who was
Oh, Namor.
responsible for King
No, 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 no,
T'Chaka?
no, no. Hang on, hang on, hang on,
King T'Chaka died by the hand.
hang on, hang on, hang on.
Dum, dum,
He
dum.
has the metal. He has the metal arm.
I don't what? Dum,
No,
dum,
I'm getting confused.
dum, da, da, da.
Ooh, man.
Now he may have had a metal arm, and I just didn't know it. But that would be news to me.
Can you tell me what the first letter is?
I can. Are you ready?
Okay.
The first letter is the last letter of the alphabet.
Zemo?
Congratulations. I would not have for in 100 years I wouldn't have gotten that. That's amazing. All right.
That one would have got me. You giving me the letter helped significantly.
Really?
That one would
Yeah.
have gotten me.
I don't even remember him being in the movie. All right,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it too.
that is 6 out of 7. That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, I hope I bust you on this last one then,
Okay.
because you get too good of a score. In which movie, in question number 8, in which movie did Thanos first appear? In the post credit.
Man,
In the post
man.
credits. In the post.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start with it was definitely one of the Avengers. I'm stuck between Avengers, the original, or Avengers Age of Ultron, one of those two, and
Mm,
I'm leaning towards Avengers the original.
that, my brother, is correct.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep. Woo woo. Nice.
That is amazing. You got 7 out of 8.
Six out of. Well, no, no,
You
yeah, I guess I got Zemo. Never mind.
got 7 of them. You got the Raft. You got Titans. Captain America:
Yeah,
Civil
you're right.
War.
Because I was thinking I didn't get Zemo, but I guess I did.
Yep.
If you want
Extremis
to
was
count that
one.
as a victory.
Oh, that's a huge
Yep.
victory. 7 out of
Oh, yeah,
8.
yeah,
Oh
you're
my.
right. So I got six. I got six because I didn't get extremist and I didn't get shield. So there was two. So I got 6 out of 8.
Oh, okay, okay. Yep, yep. You sure did. You got 6 out of 8. Well, still, I got 1 out of 10.
I gave you some pretty hard ones. We're gonna have to go back and reassess. I'll try to find a beginner. No offense, but I'll find a beginner MCU trivia, and then we'll go from there.
Whatever. I won't do this anymore.
See what comes of it.
That's yeah.
But in the meantime, there's definitely room for improvement on me. I could definitely work on getting those. I want to get an ace. I want to get every single one. And I like the hard questions too. But those acronyms get me. And then
Yeah, the
I'm
acronym.
curious what you guys think. I mean, if anyone listening, what do you guys think? I mean, should we go harder? Should we go a different route? Maybe find a different. I mean, we've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, but maybe branch off to
Well,
Universal, to
so
Disney, to a different type of trivia.
well, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to, right? We're gonna have to do harder for you, easier for me, right?
Sounds good.
And then, and then eventually we'll run out of questions because I repeated 2 questions that you gave me.
That's true. Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna have to finally delve off into. And I know I'm not gonna do very good. I could go back to old comics, and
Hey,
stuff
that
like
might
that.
be what I do is I find instead of MCU trivia, I'll find Marvel Comics trivia that'll
Huh?
pertain, and that you might have a better luck with that.
Yep. Yep.
I'll get that for next week. And then how many did you guys get right? Throw it out in the comments. I want to know how many you guys got right if you were playing along, if you were listening in, and or if you got more than me or less than me, or if you guys have any insight on that, because I'm curious
You
how
want one more?
extensive my knowledge is. Huh?
You want one more?
Let's end it with that. Does that work?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. This
Okay.
one just popped up on my screen. I'm like, ooh, that's a question that I don't think I would know it. But I
Want
think
to
we
bring it
talked about this
home?
before too. Yeah. What?
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna bring it
Wait.
home with
Which
this
one?
one.
What?
This last question.
What? I thought you want to go ahead and try it.
Well,
It's
yeah.
kind of tough.
Throw it out there.
All right. All right. Here we are. Number 9. This is your 10. And the last question is, who are the Marvel anti-heroes that assembled in Thunderbolts?
So I need to name all of them. That's like a 5 for 1, dude.
But that's a really good number, by the way. 5 for 1. Yep.
Okay, well in that case you got a Red Guardian, you got Ghost, you got Yelena, Yelena. I think it's Black Widow's sister, Yelena. I'm sorry, Yelena, and then you've got Bucky or Winter Soldier.
Yoletta's last name is Belova. You're right. Go ahead.
Yep.
And
And
Bucky.
then
All right.
there was a Taskmaster was a part of it for a split second before
Yes.
she died.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
you have the anti-Winter or anti-Captain America, also known
Yep.
as what's his name?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you remember all these. This is
Yeah, I
pretty.
can't remember. I think that's it. I think I named them all.
Well,
I don't know if
his
I'm
name was his name. He didn't
yes.
have a character
What was
name.
the
His name
beginning
was
letter?
Jay. John.
Oh, John Walker. Thank you. John Walker.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Is that it?
Congratulations.
I think I got Red Guardian. I mean,
Yep.
Sentry wasn't a part of it. He was the villain. So you
Nope.
got Red
Yep.
Guardian, you got Red Guardian, Winter
Yep.
Soldier, Ghost,
Well, it
Yelena,
wasn't
and
Winter
then you've
Soldier.
got John Walker. Huh?
Yeah, I guess it was. He didn't go by Winter Soldier. Some people talked about
Bucky
him as.
Barnes.
Yeah, but it was Bucky Barnes, the character.
That makes sense because he's those are past his Winter Soldier days. He's
Yep.
not being controlled by Russia.
Yep. 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 Yeah. I enjoyed that movie, by the way.
It was great. It was a top tier. It gave me hope for Marvel. I'm stoked, and I'll say this. I'll end with this: is I am stoked for the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out
Yep.
this month. Oh my gosh, it comes out this month. The end of this
Is it
month,
really?
I'm gonna be able. Yeah, I think July 25th is the day it comes out. So I'm planning. I'm doing some traveling for that. I'm gonna go see it in a proper theater.
Oh, you know
So
what you're doing this weekend, huh? Because the 25th. So that's the end of this month.
yes, the end of
Okay, I
this
thought you
month.
said.
Yes,
Okay, good. All right, good. I will be home that at that weekend actually.
the July 20.
I will be in Laramie. Your mom's having surgery.
Well, I might have to come visit you and we'll see it there together.
Well, as a matter of fact, that would be awesome. And I'm going to need a ride back. Actually, that weekend, I'll be at home nursing her back. And then I got to fly out on Sunday from Laramie. So could you give me a
Yes, I was
ride?
told about that. So, of course, yep, yep.
And then go see
I
the movie
expect it.
then?
I don't mind
Yep.
helping.
All right.
I'm thinking we do a double dose. I'm thinking on Friday night we dip out and we go run into the nearest town with a IMAX theater, Dolby Atmos, and see it there. Because I'm
Yep.
stoked.
Yep. All right.
But we'll
That's a
talk more on
plan.
this later.
I
We'll
like
end
that.
with that.
Yeah.
And you guys let me know what you guys think about the new Fantastic Four. Yeah. Anything else
All
to end it
right.
on?
Well, you know what? We have a lot of fun together, and I'm very thankful for this time. I really appreciate you doing this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mastermind. However, no time spent talking about life in general would be well served without making sure everybody knows the center of our lives, or my life especially. And I'm hopeful and also thankful for the fact that I know that He is yours as well. But the center of our lives is Jesus Christ. And it's because He was crucified and gives us hope and loves us and wants to live in our hearts and wants to change our lives and wants to make them fruitful. That's why we do what we do. And thank you.
Yes. Of course. Yeah. Thank you. You
What about
give
you?
that little bit of as far as
Ending it on.
you summed it up. I mean, there's no better way to end it on just letting everybody know, don't forget about God and God's there for you. You just got to listen
Amen.
no matter
Woo!
what.
That was good. Right on, bud.
And also, with that, make sure to live life to the fullest.
Yes.
It's even more so
Oh,
easier and enjoyable when you have God in your life.
oh wow. Oh wow.
But yeah,
Okay. That's wonderful. All right. Peace.
sound good? All
Yep.
right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening.
Yes, sir.